Alright, welcome to our last video on triangles. This video is about finding a triangle's missing angle. So, a very interesting fact about triangles is that every triangle has angles that add up to 180 degrees. So I have two different examples here to show you. The yellow triangle is a right triangle. We see here it has a 90-degree angle. The other two angles of this triangle are 45 degrees. So if we add up 90 plus 45 plus 45, we get 180 degrees. If we look over here at this equilateral triangle, we see that every angle is 60 degrees. When you add up 60 plus 60 plus 60, you get 180 degrees. So no matter the triangle, all the angles are going to add up to 180 degrees. That is just a cool fact about triangles. They're all 180 degrees when you add them up. So if we're missing an angle, it's actually pretty easy to figure it out if we know that they all add up to 180. Let's look at some examples. All right, I have an example here, and it says if you're missing an angle, you need to add the angles that you know, and then subtract from 180 because we know that all the angles add up to 180. So if we know we have 35 degrees and 35 degrees, we know 35 plus whatever this is going to equal 180. So here's how we would do that. First, we would add up the two that we know. So we would do 35 plus 35 equals 70. And we know the whole thing is 180, so what we'll do is 180, and then we'll subtract the 70 degrees that we know about, and we get 110 degrees. So we know that this missing angle is 110 degrees. Now when we look at this, we can see this is an obtuse angle just by looking at it. And this makes sense because 110 degrees is an obtuse angle measurement. So that works out pretty good. Let's look at another example. All right, in this triangle, we have a 40-degree angle, an 80-degree angle, and an angle that we don't know. So again, we know the whole thing is going to add up to 180 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and add the angles that we know. 40 plus 80 is 120. So then we're going to take 180, we're going to subtract those 120 degrees that we already know about, and we get 60 degrees. So this missing angle right here is 60 degrees. A quick way to check this is you could add all the angles up together, add that 60 in there, and when you do that, you do get 180 degrees. The only tricky thing that I've seen with this that can sometimes get us is if they have a picture that looks like this. So you would say, well, I only see one number here, so how am I supposed to add and then subtract? Well, if they have the little box in the corner, you know that's a right angle. So you have to know that means 90 degrees. So you would then go ahead and add up 90 plus 45, and you would get 135 degrees. You would then subtract that from 180, and you would get 45 degrees, which would be your missing angle. Now before we get into practice for that, I want to go ahead and review the types of classifications that you have for triangles. So right now I have a triangle here. I have some information on the angles and I have information on the sides. So we can actually classify this by two names. Let's start with sides. I see that I have a 10 centimeter, 12 centimeter, and 4 centimeter. So they're all different sides. So if I was classifying this by sides, it would be scalene, all different, all scattered. If I'm looking at the angles, I notice right off the bat I have that right angle. So that means this is a right triangle. So you would say this is a right scalene or a scalene right triangle. Two names for one triangle. Let's do one more example of that. So here, let's go ahead and look at the sides. We have 16 inches, 16 inches, and 20 inches. So we see that two are the same, one is different. We know SOS, same, other, same. So this would be an isosceles triangle. Now we look at our angles. Now, they don't say what the angles are, but it's pretty clear up here we have an obtuse angle. And if we see one obtuse angle, that's enough to know that this is an obtuse triangle. So this would be an isosceles obtuse triangle. All right, so let's get into some practice for our missing angles. Again, you know that every triangle adds up to 180. So add those angles that you know and then subtract from 180. Go ahead and pause your video, work these out, and then play to see the answers. All right, in our first triangle, our missing angle is 90 degrees. And in our second triangle, our missing angle is 60. I hope you've enjoyed these videos on triangles, and I'm sure I will see you soon. Bye.